There is no greater feeling in golf than stepping up to the golf ball, looking at your target, taking a waggle, pulling the trigger, and absolutely flushing an iron shot just like that. Now, this has to be one of the most common questions I get asked is, Giles, how do I compress my irons so I can hit it flush every single time? Well, with that in mind, I went, you know what? I'm going to go seek some advice from one of the best coaches in the world. So I flew all the way to Florida to get 3 tips for you from Eric Cogorno. Here's what he said.
There's a couple of core things that I would call non-negotiables. The idea here is what are the 1, 2, or 3 things that we can do that focus on that'll get us like 20 other things for free. So the first thing, and it should always be first thing in my opinion, is getting the club face closed to the shaft. So of all the golfers that I've worked with and that Giles does as well, there is a slew of swing issues that come directly from the club face being too open. So if you're struggling or newer, you want to wipe that off the board where that's definitely not a problem. But assuming we've got a reasonable lead hand grip where you look down and can see 2 to 3 knuckles, okay, let's kind of assume that. Where the club face is relative to the shaft is going to control so many things. And here's what I would focus on. I would focus on controlling that in the first half of the swing. And when I say first half, I would get my hands roughly hip high on the way back, and I would note the relationship of where the toe of the club is to the heel. Now, if we shift to the face on angle, if I held a club straight up, square, let's say to this would be the toe is right on top of the heel. As I make a golf swing, I want to close the face to the shaft, meaning the toe would be some amount in front of the heel.
Amazing.
That gives me the motivation to swing the club from inside. That gives me the opportunity for shaft lean, all good things we want. If the toe's behind the heel, the #1 no-no in golf, that's going to make me swing over the top, early release, etc. So let's fix that one first.
For sure.
And so how I like to do that, Giles, how I'd start with lead hand grip on good, 3 knuckles. And then I would reference halfway back. See how the face, if we drew an arrow from that, points slightly down towards the ground. Now, one of the pieces that controls that are the wrist angles, meaning where does my glove logo or right palm point? So simply put, I'd go glove logo down a little, face down a little. Glove logo down a little, kind of right palm pointed down a little, face down a little. If I can set that up easily on the way back, let me clip one with that. If I can get my left hand on there good and have the club face pointed correctly in the first half of the swing, that sets me up for a lot of good. Left hand grip good, club face and logo down. And that's going to give me a solid strike flying reasonably at the target. That is the first place we should start at.
Perfect. And if I can get you back into that position, so for you golfers at home who maybe don't like to feel things with their left hand, tell me what the right hand is feeling right there.
Yeah, I would always reference where my palm points, sort of like a Spider-Man would be kind of an image there. Of I want my right palm to point a little bit more down from level. Conversely, like the bad would be the right palm or the glove logo up. You can see that instantly makes the toe behind the heel, club face too open. So it'd be a little bit more of a palm pointed down towards the ground in the early part of the takeaway. And just as a little quick reference before piece number 2, Giles, I can get the club face set up good there, and maybe something could still go wrong later on. Like if I wanted to really ensure it, I wouldn't mind a palm down, palm away.
So you're kind of continuing that feeling of it, that angle in the back of the trail wrist, that loading that we would call it right there.
Yeah, you really want to get that set pretty good on the way back, so there's less for you to do on the way down.
Perfect. So now we've got control over the face sends it. Now we've got to move on to the next stage. So Eric, what's the next stage?
Yeah, so let's assume with club face control, that should have you not slicing the ball to the right and give you a chance to do a lot of good things. The second thing is contact. So how do we consistently make sure we hit the ground every time? And then ideally ball first, ground second. And the place you want to start there is with tilts, or what we call inclination to the ground. A simple way to look at that is if you look at a good golfer and you draw the line up their back line, some people call it spine angle, but line up their back line. You would notice the best ball strikers do the best job at maintaining that angle as they're moving 3-dimensionally. So when they go back, they stay on that same line. And then as they go through, until about arms parallel, they stay on that same line. Now the reason that's important is when my body stays the same distance from the ground, what gets really easy to do?
contact with the ground is effortless.
Contact with the ground is effortless. So this is what you would see with good ball strikers. Then the question is, how do you do that? And as a simple reference point, we would do that with side bends or tilts. Meaning, when I make a swing, and I kind of like to do a simple drill with a club in the sternum pointed straight away, the body motions I want, during the backswing, my left shoulder is going to go slightly down. It feels like feeling like it's going down, right? It's feeling like it's going down. The chest works away. That keeps my body on the same angle. And then as I work through, my right shoulder goes down and my chest faces the target. And all you're looking to do here, Giles, a simple version is just keep your body the same distance from the ground. And to do that, I'm turning, chest back, chest through, and I'm side bending, left shoulder down, left shoulder through. How do I know I'm doing this correctly? Outside of video feedback is you should hit the ground every time. Less thins, less tops is what we're going for here. So I would go left shoulder down, chest away, right shoulder down, chest away, and clip the mat. Obviously, I'd love to have the face close to the shaft as I'm doing this. Left shoulder down, right shoulder down.
And that's a beautiful strike right there. Probably what, a 2-yard draw?
Little 2-yard draw, pretty straight, hit it pretty solid, wasn't overly complicated.
And I would say, would you say, as looking through kind of what you just done there, you would always start with the club face change first in terms of order of priority, and then move on to the tilt?
Yeah, not doing this in this order by accident,
Yeah.
right? Would certainly do the club face first because it causes so many issues. Once the face is square-ish, you've got reasonable direction control. You do the tilts for solidness of contact. And then the third thing, ready for me to jump into number 3?
Let's go.
The third thing that I would do, and I do it in this order, would be arm structure, or being able to straighten the arms. Now, specifically, there's a time and place that's really important. And so I like to train a lot of my players, because guess what? I could do my shoulder down, and I'm still doing this sort of look through impact, right? Arms bent, chicken wing, and struggle with contact. If I get my shoulders to tilt, like we talked about, and I straighten my arm, in particular my trail arm, at the right time, solidness of contact is more or less guaranteed for you to hit it pretty solid. So what I like to do as a training principle, I've got my golf ball. Let's say I make a little half backswing to about hip high. I want to have my trail arm, which will be bent at this point in time, feel like I'm straightening it and punching it very specifically to the point where it's about 45 degrees past impact.
I love that right there. So
Right
kind of right on the target line, but maybe if we call that 3 foot past.
I like that.
Perfect.
3 foot pass. So I'm here, my lead arm's reasonably straight, my trail arm's bent some. As I work through, my right arm is straightening the whole time, right? I clip the ground, it's still a little bit bent, but it gets fully straight with the club fully released at 45. Now the key point here, like I'm punching that right arm, I'm gonna hit the ground and I'm extending that arm. Now if I do this a couple times, and I take that feel and I add some good body motions to it, all of a sudden, that puts me into a really good position. You'd see a lot of good players practicing arms straight out, body fully turned towards the target. So really what you want to do is like check each one of these off. You might practice just the face first and then add the tilt, right? And kind of do it one at a time. But if we were kind of putting them together, I'm feeling like the face is staying tilted down. I'm making sure my body's inclination's good by feeling the left shoulder down, right shoulder down. And I'm making sure that my right arm lengthens and punches on the way through. And if I put that good together and hit sort of a little 3/4 iron shot here, we should see some good consistency of strike and straight shots. Face close to the path, shoulder down, punch the arm.
Beautiful.
Solid little 9-iron. So that's good for anyone, but certainly like someone who's struggling or newer, those are really good priorities to focus on.
And that's the thing that I would kind of back up what you've just said there. You'll see tour pros do these drills. So it's not just for beginner golfers. It's not just for golfers struggling. These are great kind of checking drills, making sure you're performing good habits. So there you have it, guys. That is a true masterclass. I stepped away, I let Eric run with it, and that was phenomenal. I've learned a lot right there. Eric, thank you so much for coming on the channel. Where can everybody get your information?
Yeah, Eric Cogorno Golf would be a good place to go. Would love to have you guys hop over and watch some videos.
Eric's channel is amazing, so go check that out. His website is even better. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you in the next one.